Guys, did you get a chance to go through the form, through the material to
No, miss.
assess it? Huh?
No, miss.
You haven't?
No, miss. I've been trying, but
What, you haven't been able to access it?
miss, I access it, but
But what?
I don't quite understand it.
Okay. Um, all right, just let's hold on a little to see the other persons who are coming on, and then we'll explain to you what needs to happen. Okay?
So we send, you want to finish it? When you want to send it to you?
No, you just need to go through it, tally your scores, so you get a sense of where you're leaning, what it is that you have the aptitude for, or your interest, and then we'll go through with you. So you need to do some research as to, with our help, of course, as to the institutions that offer what you would like to do, and what are the requirements, and how long it takes to do a course in whatever it is that you are interested in. Understand?
Okay. Yes, please.
Right, right. So we're just kind of waiting on the others. It's now 10:10. I think it was scheduled for what, 10:30? So if you could just bring up your form, you could just go through it, try to see what you can add. But we'll go through it with you.
Morning, Miss. We're scheduled to start at 10:05 and end at
10:05.
10:30.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, let me
Okay.
just start. Let me just start off. Good morning, students. This morning we are starting the first part of our um, career sensitization session, and that session will be an introduction basically into your subject selection process. So it's very important. So your guidance counselors will basically take you through. You were sent an email with a document which is a career guide, a career personality guide. It kind of, it's a lot of questions there, but it helps you to figure out what you want to do, what you like, and then the guidance counselors will guide you, as Miss Gail Samuels had said before. So I'm gonna turn over to Miss Gail Samuels. I think Miss Armstrong is also here. So as Miss Gail Samuels said before, you need to take a look at the document, and then you can ask questions in terms of any difficulties they might have with the document. So over to you, Miss Gail Samuels.
Okay. Mrs. Armstrong. All right. I would hope that you are seeing the document, that you have it in front of you. Is everybody seeing their document? Hello? Hello? Are you
Yes,
hearing
miss.
me?
Yes, miss.
Yeah.
All right. So you have the documents in front of you? The document in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Armstrong?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Do you have the document in front of you? Let me see if I can bring up mine. But in the meanwhile, you can go ahead.
All right. Good morning, students. The
Hi, everyone.
The assessment form was sent to you, and the aim of this meeting is to go through with you, to go through the process. It's supposed to be a reflective one, where when you go through each item, it helps you to think of yourselves in terms of what you like to do, what you're able to do, and how you'll be successful doing what you're best at in the future. So Mr. Martin is going to bring up the document, the career assessment personality form. He'll bring that up, and then he will walk you through completing the item. We had asked that the students be told to either do it soft copy or to have it printed and completed prior to this meeting. If you haven't already done so, then you can do it along with Mr. Martin as goes through. Mr. Martin?
Yes, top of the morning to you all. I'm here. All right, so let me go straight into it. Present screen.
Mr. Martin.
Yes, miss?
It was sent to Mr. Edwards. I was just wondering if it could be projected so that we could all
Are you seeing it now?
call at the same
You
time.
should be seeing it. You
No,
should
I'm
be
not.
seeing it on your screen now. Can somebody indicate
Yes,
if they're seeing it?
Well, not anymore.
Fine,
Repeat that. Could you repeat that for me, please?
I was seeing it just now.
Are you not seeing it now?
No.
It's not clear.
Our person's not seeing it?
Sir, try zoom up.
They're too small.
too
You
small.
can zoom it. You can zoom it.
Mr.
I'm looking at it and zooming.
Yeah,
I'm
try to
seeing
see
it.
if you can zoom your
Oh, yeah,
screen,
yeah.
because if I zoom my screen anymore, that would mean then that I would eliminate certain sections of the presentation. So see if you can zoom your screen, students. Let us go straight into it. Thank you very much, Mrs. Armstrong and team members.
Just a moment. Mrs. Darling, was it sent to the students prior to this meeting? Or they're seeing it for the first time?
It was sent, miss. I emailed it to parents and students, I think day before yesterday.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Go
So they
ahead.
can check their email.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so thank you. So basically, let us go quickly through the instructions. They're very straightforward. This inventory was written to assist you to better understand your personality type, and by so doing, better prepare for possible career choices based on said personality types. Please read all instructions carefully and proceed to answer questions as honestly as possible. If the statement below is relevant or true, so as you go on, if the statement below is relevant or true for you, place a 0 on the line. So if it's not relevant or it's not true, you're asked to place a 0 on the line. If the statement below is somewhat relevant or somewhat true for you, place a 1 on it. So if it's somewhat true for you, you place a 1. If the statement below is very relevant and very true for you, you place a 2 on the line. So if you strongly believe in what is being said, you place a 2. If you kind of agree, you can place a 1. And if you disagree totally, you place a 0. After completing each letter section, total your scores and place them on the total points line, right? Copy this number, place on the total points line and place it on line 1 on page 3. For example, if your total points for your screen for section A was 5, copy that number and place it on the A line 1. And it's very straightforward. I'm going to just work through it just to ensure that everyone kind of did what was being required. So for this section, it says, how do I see myself? So it's asking me the question. I like to do creative activities like drama, art, dance, craft, music, or creative writing. If anybody knows me personally, I have no creative bone whatsoever in my body. So that for me is an automatic 0. I move on to question 2 of category A. I have a good artistic abilities in drama, music, art and craft, creative writing compared to other persons in my age group. Again, I doubt that. So I put 0. All right, that's not my forte. And it's okay, guys, not to, certain things you're not going to be necessarily good at or great at. There are some persons who are just naturally good at some things that you are not naturally good at. There's nothing wrong with that. We each have our own little niche. Number 3 of it says creative arts like music, art, drama, craft, and creative writing are important to me. I put 1. I kind of like reading and I appreciate the art somewhat. So I said, okay, 1 for me. I am independent, artistic, original, and imaginative. I would necessarily bank on it. So basically, when I calculate all of section A here, I have 0 for question 1, 0 for question 2, 1 for question 3, and 0 for question 4. So when I add those 4 up, when I add all those 4, I get it total to be 1. You understand? Under A. I then scroll down. Let me scroll down with you just a little bit. You are then asked to place that answer that you got a while ago, that total that you got for section A a while ago. You place the response for letter A on the line 1. So I got 1 a while ago, which is, let me go back up so that you can see, which is here, which is my total. Let me see if I can touch it. Right there, I got 1 for my total. So I then now place that 1 on my line 1 on the section A, and I will continue. So let me go now to part C now. Oh, no. Why you do me that? Don't do me that. Don't do me that. All right, coming back up. Forgive me. All right. So now section C says here now, in letter C, it says, I like to work with numbers, records, or machine in a set and orderly way. My answer for that is 0. 2 says, I am good at working with written records and numbers in a systematic way and orderly way compared to others. I have some amount of systematic nature to me. So I said, okay, 1 for me. I value success in business. I really do. So I put 1. I am orderly and good at following a set plan. Sometimes I'm overly meticulous in what I do. So I put 2. All right. So when I add up all of that, I would have gotten 4 for my total points. 1 there, and 2 for question 4. I move on to E now, and E's asking me now, I like to read and influence people, sell things and ideas. I put a 1. I am good at leading people and selling things and ideas compared to persons that are in my group. I put a 1 also, right? But under E, we're at number 3, just in case I lost you. We're now under E, question 3. I value success in business, leadership, or politics. I love politics. I really have a good thing for politics. So I put 2. Ambitious, energetic, and sociable. I put 2 there. So I get a very high score for this one, which is 6 under E. All right, continuing. For I, number 1 says, I like to study and solve math or science problem. I put a 1 there. I used to love math. Compared to others my age group, I am good at understanding and solving science and math problems. 1 again for me. I value science. I did all the sciences in high school. I am intellectual, precise, and scientific. I put a 1 for that. When I calculate that, I got 5 points there. Almost finished. R and S remaining. So we'll go down to R. And I just wanted to continue to see that as soon as I finish a section, I just added up the score and I placed the score on the total points line, and then I went below and placed them there. All right. So R, it says, I like to work with animals, machines, or tools. I placed a 0 there. I have good skills working with animals, mechanical things, or machines compared to others in my age group. That for me was a 0. I value things you can see or touch like animals, plants, or things you can build or make better. I put that as a 0. I am practical, realistic, and mechanical. Kind of. So I put a 1. I felt that way, so I put a 1. So under S now, which is the last category of this part now, it says, I like to help people like teaching them or giving them first aid. I put a 1. I kind of like that. I am good at teaching, nursing, counseling, or giving information compared to others in my age group. Obviously, that would be a 2, guys. Number 3 of S says, I value helping people and solving problems, social problems, and that for me is a 2. I like being involved in creating positive change in communities and stuff like that. I like that. I am friendly, helpful, and trustworthy. I put a 2. So my points for that was 7. Notice now, guys, all of those that were said above, I placed them on line 1. That section there that says line 1 going across, I placed them there. So if you look across, you see for my A above, I would have gotten a total of 1. Under my section of C, I would have gotten a total of 4. Under my section of E, I would have gotten a total of 6. Under my section of I would have gotten a total of 1. Under my section of R, I got another 1. And under my S, I got a 7. So we're going back up. So here now is another set of instructions. So it's really a 2-part. It's just requiring you, as Mrs. Armstrong rightfully said, to think in-depthly and reflect. Because this paper forces you to think and reflect as to what you really like and forces you to see what you don't like. All right? So we continue section 2, which is the last section of it, in terms of questions and answering. So the instructions are pretty much the same. If you do not agree, put a 0. If you somewhat agree, put a 1. If you strongly agree, you put a 2. After you have finished, the instruction is saying, after completing this section, total each letter response and place the total underneath the correct letter marked line 2. For example, if after adding your response for letter A, you receive a total of 5, place the number 5 letter under letter A on line 2. Don't get confused. It's pretty simple, just as what we did a while ago. All right, so if you notice, there are some responses there. So at the end of each response, there is a letter in open and closed brackets, right? The first one is that, astronomer. Do I like that? I'm like, no. So I put a 0. Apartment manager. No, I kind of like management and stuff like that. Actor, actress, no. Am I still on? Persons hear me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes, sir.
good.
Go ahead.
Right, because sometimes when you're talking,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
right, good. So good. So sometimes when you're talking, like, all right, good. Apartment manager, I could see myself doing that. So I put a 1. Actor, actress, not very much. Artist, no artistic one. I said to you, so I put a 0. Bus driver, not really my thing. I put a 0. Biologist, I love bio in high school, so I love the field of science. As I said before, I kind of had a liking for it, so I put a 1. Bank teller, no, I put a 0. Business teacher, no, not really. A bookkeeper, no, 0. Counselor, obviously I placed a 2 there, guys. Carpenter, a 0. Chemist, a 0. Chemical technician, a 0. Clothes designer, a 0 for me. Court reporter, a 0 for me. A dancer, a 0 for me. This one says salesperson, that was a 0 for me. Singer, no, I can't sing. I can't sing to save my life. That's a 0. Teacher, I put 2. So jumping on to the other section, now it says insurance sales agent. That was a 0 for me. Right. Insurance clerk, that was a 0 for me. Librarian, that was a 0 for me. Lawyer, 0. I have a lot of 0 going down, guys. All right. And don't feel bad if you have these zeros. It's just becoming self-aware. So going down 0, 0, 0. I have for radio and TV announcer, I have a 1. I was told I have a nice voice. Research scientist, I have a 0. Speech therapist, I have a 0. Social worker, I have a 1. Sales manager, I have a 1. Tax expert, I think I have a 1 there. Telephone operator, 0. Welder, 0. So basically, I've done that. Now, what is going to happen now is that you are now going to be required, if you look carefully, as I said earlier on, each of these letter vocation areas or career fields have with it a letter assigned in open and closed bracket. So I am going to now look at all my responses for I. If you look at the end, astronomer, I have an I there. So I'm going to look at all the responses that have an I, and I'm going to calculate it. All right, I'm going to add them up to see how many points I scored. So when I look through at all my I's, yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but some of the students are saying that what if their career choice is not there?
All right, so no, don't worry about career choices for now in terms of, because this exercise, can you imagine having all careers listed out? it would be a paper that is so extensive that you couldn't possibly exhaust in this time session. What is there though is that if while you look on the various careers and you see something that you kind of interests you, what the paper really does is that it points you into a particular area, which we're going to look on a little bit further from now. So don't be too concerned if you're not seeing your fixed career that you are interested in. The paper is designed for you to discover your personality type. Whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, whether you love working with people, whether you are resistant to rigid structure, whether you're a free-hearted person. So look at it more widely than just picking a fixed career. It wants for you to get into a particular understanding of self. So don't be too concerned about that just yet. All right? We have a section for that.
Okay, sir.
Let me just
Go ahead,
add
Mr. Armstrong.
something. Yes, to add something that if you notice the letters beside the careers that are listed, you have some letters A, I, C, S, E, realistic, artistic, investigative, the
Right.
conventional, social, enterprising. These are categories that you will arrive at after
Right.
you've completed the questionnaire. So you do the personality rating to give you the self-understanding, the self-awareness, to help you to fit into one or more of these areas. You will find overlap from time to time because you might find that you have scores that might be close in different areas, but you have to trust the process. It's the process that will help you to arrive at where it is that you want to go. And you might, for example, be thinking of a particular career. As the student said, suppose my career that I'm thinking of is not there, but then there are other careers that are similar to what you are thinking of, and then your career would be included in one of these categories. So
Thank
try
you very
to
much.
understand the categories that are provided as well, that are being presented, so that you can see which area you are best suited for, and then look at a range of careers in those particular categories.
Excellent. And so, as I was saying earlier on, we're just going to add up. So when I look for under the section, under the letter I, for all the responses with I realize that when I calculate and I look through, so I look astronomy and I count and I check up all my I's to see how many I got. When I'm finished, I got 2. I placed it here, right here, beside on the I on line 2, right down the bottom there. That's where I placed it. Ooh, again, we have that problem. 1 second there again, guys. Good. Right. So after doing that now, I look for all my E's. I add up all my E's. I place them on the line again. I looked for all my A's, and I did it continuously until I added up, right? So when I'm finished adding up everything now, I realized that for section 1 and section 2, I had 1 for A, and I had 0 for section 2. So I add those up. I got a total of 1 for A. I got a total of 5 for C. I got a total of 9 for E. I got a total of 3 for I. R, I got 1, and S, I got 12. All right, so we have the final set of scores. Now is a fun part, right? Now I did it, and I'm not sure what happened, but the picture wasn't showing the color. So let me just, here it is. Please be good. Please be good. Right. So here is my screen after I did my chart. That's the very same chart that we looked on a while ago. So here is my chart that you would have seen. So I realize now that under, could you plug in this for me, please? Plug in the laptop. Under S, I realized that my highest score, I got the highest score, which was, I think, 13. R, I got 1 again. I think it was somewhere about 3. For E, I got 9, I think it was. For C, I got 5, and for A, I got 1. All right, very important. So we fill out the chart, and you're able now to see. So when I look on this now, for S, I got, was it 13? I think it was 13. How much did you get, miss?
16.
16? Oh. We're in the correct field, miss. Around the back, around the back. Right. So I got, and we're going to look what these letters really mean. But if you notice very carefully, guys, for some of you, you might find that some of your charts in your bar graph, some of your charts might be very close. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong. As Ms. Armstrong had said, there are sometimes a little overlapping. And when we're going to look on it, I want you to pay attention for S and E, because it's going to show you my true personality also, all right? So let us continue back onto the chart. I want us to look on what these terms mean. As Ms. Armstrong had said, A means that you're artistic, C means you're conventional, E is that you're entrepreneurial, I is that you're investigative, R is that you're a realist, and S is that you're social. Now, below the graph, the bar chart here, I should say, it says my strongest personality type is, and you're going to write on it either A, C, E, I, or S. For me, I would have written S on this line. Then now, I'm going to proceed now to under this section. I would be most comfortable in one of the more following categories. Now, after you would have figured which part you fall under in terms of the category, whether it be A, C, E, I, R, S, you're going to look up now the various careers that fall under that category. And then now you're going to write them on the lines right here, right? So let me know quickly, Ms. Armstrong, if I can get an additional 3 minutes. Let me quickly do something here. So I'm going in my files and I'm going to go to a PowerPoint presentation. And this PowerPoint presentation now is to assist you in understanding what the A, C, E, I, R, and S really stand for. I'm going to move a little bit quick because I'm noticing the time and I want for you to quickly get it. So I'm going to skip the introduction a little bit. So R, you are a realist. So
Not
right
seeing
for
the
me.
screen anymore.
You're not seeing my screen, miss? You should be seeing it.
No, no.
Is anybody else? Are you seeing my
your
screen now?
face.
Are you seeing my face? Let me go back into. You see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it just take a time to come. So let me make it come up quickly. All right. So let's give it a second. Maybe it's just the loading process. All right. See my screen now, everyone? Somebody just respond. Yes, no, maybe.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh,
Let us see your face.
You not see my face?
Sir, may I see your face? But we're not saying anything else.
Sir, it look like you turn your front camera.
Hold on. Tell me you're seeing it now. Give me good news.
No. Hey, we
Sir, we present back again.
All right. Let me go back in and do it manually again and see what happened. All right. So let me see now. Tell me if you see my screen again now, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. So as I said before, I'm skipping the introduction, right? So the first, what the R stands for, and I want you to write, if you have a book there, you can write for your notes. The R means you are a realistic person. You are a doer. You like especially working with your hands. For example, a farmer, a firefighter, civil engineer, mechanical engineer, carpenter, electrician. So these are persons that like to work with their hands. They like making things, assembling or building things, using or operating equipment, tools or machines, and even like to work outdoors. Those are your realists. And based on what you can see on my chart, I have none of that in my bones. Some using key operating tools, they like using equipment, machine, they like designing, building. So your architect, they like repairing, they like maintaining. They like working manually, like measuring, working in details, driving, moving, caring for animals. So these are some of the categories that a realist would find themselves in. So if you realize that you have some of these attributes, then possibly some of the jobs that exist for you are like the pilot, your farmer, your horticulturist, your builder, your engineering, your service personnel, your mechanic, your upholsterer, your electrician, your computer technologist, and the various fields that are emerging in computer, your park ranger, your sports persons, all right? Those are your realists. Again, your realists are persons who like to work with their hands, fixing things, working outside, animals and stuff like that, all right? Subjects that you possibly need, you need your English, you need your math, your science, your workshop, for example, your TD, building, stuff like that, technological subject, your IT, computing, business studies, agriculture, horticulture, physical education, all right? So if you're finding yourself in that kind of category, those are some of the things that you're looking for. Investigative, which is I got a very low mark on it. I think I got 3. Your investigators like to discover and research ideas. They like to observe, they like to investigate, experiment, ask questions, and solve problems, right? Some key skills, they like to think, analytical. So if you're one of those persons who, you know, they start to think of solutions for things in a very scientific and measured way, computing, communicating by writing and speaking, designing, formulating, calculating, diagnosing, experimenting, and investigating, right? Some occupations with investigative components, science research, medical and health occupations, your chemist, your marine scientist, your forestry technician, your medical or agricultural laboratory technician, zoologist, dentist, doctors. You understand, those are some professions that fall into it. Of course, your basic subjects, your English, your math, your science-related subjects, your computing-related subjects, for example, your IT and technology, all right? So those are some of the areas that you're looking on. Trying to move as quickly as possible. If you fall under A, right, you are artistic, all right? So you're like the opposite of me, all right? So you like the use of words, art, music, or drama. You like to communicate. You like to perform or express yourself. You like to create and design, right? You are the kind of person who just, out of the blues, you just come up with an idea. You see something that's just random, and you create something that's, what's happening out there? Oh, it's fire. Oh, you are one of those persons who you just meticulously just create something out of nothing. You understand? And it's beautiful, right? You like expressing artistically or physically, like speaking, you like writing, you like singing, you like performing, designing, presenting, planning, composing, playing, dancing, right? Some occupations that are in this, in your artistic field, you know, your artist, your illustrator, your photographer, your sign writer, your composer, your singer, your instrument player, dancer, actor, reporter, writer, editor, advertiser, hairdresser, your fashion designer, and even a YouTuber. Yes, I know parents might not want to hear these things, but money can be made from, you know, creating YouTube channel and all that. But you have to know your field, understand your field, and get into it. All right, but that's one. Subjects: your English, your social studies, your music, your art, your drama, your graphic design, computing, business studies, and languages. All right, so those are some subjects. Social now, yay, that's for me. Miss Armstrong also. We are helpers, right? We're like your counselors, your social workers, your teachers, your clergy, your coach, your physical therapists. We're the helpers. We like assisting persons in becoming the best version of themselves. We are like the persons who, and let me use the opportunity to sell my career field. We are one of those persons in the society that assist in real social changes that affect persons on a neurological sphere, mentally changing the way people think, changing the way we look at things and reason and relate to each other, all right? Description of interest: likes to work with people, to teach, to train and inform, help, treat, heal, cure, serve, and greet, concerned for the well-being and welfare of others. Communicating, some key skills: very good in communicating orally or written, caring for persons, supporting, training, meeting, greeting, assisting, teaching, informing, interviewing, coaching. Some of the occupations that fall under this category of social: teacher, nurse, nurse aide, counselor, police officer, social worker, salesperson, customer service officer, waiter, secretary, educational officer, teacher. I said that before, right? Subjects that you could use for it: your English, social studies, math, your science, health, physical education, art, computing, business studies, and languages. The last one, I believe, no, not the last one. Well, let's see, enterprising. Now, these are your entrepreneurs, and I had a good mark. I had a good mark in this one also. I got 9, and I'm going to explain it a little bit. Look closer. I'm almost finished, Miss Armstrong. Likes meeting people, leading, talking to, and influencing others, encouraging others, work in business, selling, promoting, and persuading, developing ideas, public speaking, maintaining, organizing, leading. So these are your entrepreneurs. There are salespersons, your lawyer, your politician, your accountant, your business owner, your executive manager, your travel agent, your music or sports promoter, right? English, math, business are some of the subjects that you need. Accounting, economics, social studies, drama, computing, text, information management, and languages is a plus. The last one, this is the last one, conventional. So the conventional now likes working indoors at tasks that involve organizing and being accurate, following procedures, working with data or numbers, planning and working events. Some key skills, they like computing and keyboard recording and keeping records, paying attention to detail, meeting and greeting, doing calculations, handling money, organizing, arranging, working independently. They're like your secretary, your receptionist, your office worker, your librarian, your bank clerk, your computer operator, your stores dispatch clerk, your HR managers. You understand? So these are some of the persons. And let me just go lastly to my final point before I turn over to Ms. Armstrong. If you look carefully at my picture here, you'll realize that I scored reasonably well. The thing is not plugged into the wall. It's not plugged into the wall. You'll realize that I scored reasonably well in entrepreneurial, which is E, and social. And let me give you a little secret. At the age of 21, I was operating a little business, which really assisted me in going to college. You understand? So I really find myself having an entrepreneurial spirit. I'm always thinking what new business idea I could really come up with to make money. But at the same time, I am very sociable in the fact that I love assisting persons, I love caring for persons and allowing persons to self-actualize. So there's nothing wrong if you realize that you score close to each other in 2 different fields. It just means then that you can maybe choose from either category and you are comfortable in both categories. Or if possible, you can merge the 2 categories that you are in, because let us say I can become a counselor, open my own business and counseling students. You understand? So you can have the best of both worlds. So don't be alarmed if you realize that you score relatively high in more than one categories. With that being said, I close off and I thank you for listening and I turn to Miss Armstrong and the rest.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sir,
Yes,
so
yes, sure.
the information that all the information that is said a while ago, is there a way we can see it again, because there is way too much information for me to hear?
Right, I can agree. So the PowerPoint will be sent out. The PowerPoint will be sent through the channels and you will receive it. I think it's only the PowerPoint that you might have a problem with. And I'll send a copy of my personal score sheet also, so that you can see how it is done as it relates to if you made an error on it. So we'll have that sent out. Or better yet, we'll send Mrs. Armstrong's score.
Sir, that was an excellent explanation of it. I wish that we had taped it so we can have students listen and re-listen. It's really, really excellent. Right. One of the things that came out that, of course, all careers could not have been covered right here. So once the students are able now to group themselves or to find a category that you are best suited for, then you can explore the careers within that category, even those that are not listed here. But also, if you know, some of the careers listed here are starting points too. So for example, you start off as receptionist, but you're going up to CEO, and the sky is the limit. So don't be limited by what you're seeing here. This is an introduction, and this is something that you can embrace in order to plot your career path, because you, from time to time, more things will come up, you'll learn more, and you'll be able to take your careers to another level. Always think of opportunities to grow. As Mr. Martin said, he would have started a business when he was much younger in order to go to college. Having graduated from college is another type of business that he might be going into in order to take his career to another level. So it's about your growth. Now at third form level, you are, hello? At third form level, you are now at that point where you will want to choose your subjects based on the areas that you are seeing coming to the fore, based on the scores that you got having completed the form. So the first thing you want to do is complete the form, then you read upon the careers that you are best suited for, and then you select subjects that will suit you to do well into those areas and to enter those career areas in the future. Can I get some questions at this point?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, I'm not a question so far, but there was something on the screen that I wanted to screenshot. The subject, like the math, English, and something else that I
So Martin, you want to bring that up in the meantime?
All right.
Which one was it?
Yeah.
But remember, we're going to send it out.
Just a moment, sir. All right. Students, just remember, there's another session later today. Mrs. Dallin apologized. She had to step out, so she asked me to just give you the final word. There's another session today at 12:05. Mr. Martin and Mr. Armstrong.
Yes, this will be done again at 12:05 today. Yes, Mr. Edward. So students and parents can also come back to that session for reinforcement to strengthen what they got. Now, as Mr. Martin said too, the PowerPoint will also be sent out, so you'll have access to print it and to use it, to the best of your ability.
Miss, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, son.
So Miss, should we have to complete the form on Google Docs or Microsoft Word, or can we use a printer and print it and do it on the printed sheet, or we have to do it on the computer?
Yes. I would suggest that you print it so you have it to interact with, because it is to help you in your subject selection, and it's something that you will also look at later on in the future, because as time goes by and you develop skills and abilities, sometimes your leanings towards certain areas will also shift. So it's something that you can grow with. So I suggest that everyone, even if you're going to print complete the soft copy that you can submit to us so that we can see where you're going, you should also have a printed hard copy that you will use for your future reference.